Hi, it's Farmer J, and welcome back to Dairy Air Farms. I'm just going to give you an opinion. It's entirely up to you how you want to play, but we're looking at field stones in today's video. In my opinion, they are not worth the time and effort. Removing field stones does nothing to improve the yield of your fields, so you gain no advantage. You gain a small monetary advantage by selling them at the debris crusher, but I think 2,000 liters of stones netted me $133, which was not worth the time and effort to clear 2,000 liters worth of stones, which was half of this field. It's a neat concept because stones are a real problem in real life. But most farms do not have stones that crop up like they do in the game. If you've watched Millennial Farmer, he has stones that appear in his fields. They're brought up by the frost, and they tend to be fairly big. So rather than driving up and down the field, they take the rock picker and they go to the location where the stone is, or stones are, and they remove them. They don't have to remove stones from their whole field. They just remove the problem stones. I know some modders have taken some time to create a production facility which will take your stones and turn it into lime. I think on a 1-to-1 basis, roughly. So 2,000 liters of stones will give you 2,000 liters of lime. Lime's relatively cheap. The time and the effort that I'm spending to remove the stones from this field is not worth the amount gained even through a production facility. So my opinion is to turn stones off. I've said this in a previous video too. On the farm I grew up on with, we didn't have a problem with stones. We might get the odd pebble or pebbles popping up, but they were not big enough to warrant dealing with. They would get rolled back into the field, or they just weren't big. They didn't damage the equipment. And they rarely popped up. I'm trying to find a way to justify having stones turned on, and I really can't do that. Especially as the fact that removing the stones from the field we plowed in a previous video took almost as long as it did to plow the field. And that was using the widest rock picker. There are 3 that come in the game. The 2 basic ones, or probably the 2 most realistic ones, are these 2. the Signature 7200, and the Rock King 9600. These are the type that most farmers have because they remove the big stones. This is the one I used to speed up the process because it's 5.5 meters versus 2.4, which is even narrower than the plow. So it would have doubled my time if I'd used this one over this one. Like I said, if you've watched Millennial Farmer, he uses this one to get rid of the big stones in the field. And then he dumps them in a ditch. And we're talking stones that are big enough that you can't pick up by hand. He certainly doesn't use a stone picker to create a cultivation state like the stone pickers in Farming Simulator 22 do. If I want to cultivate a field, I'm going to use a cultivator to do it. I do not want to use a rock picker. It's narrower. It costs more money than some of the smaller cultivators. And like I said, it does nothing to improve the yield. It just reduces the damage. The fact that it damages your tractors and they're already more expensive to repair in FS22 than they were in FS19 again says to me it's not worth the time and effort. It was a good concept by Giants, but it was poorly executed. They would have been better off spending their time either to do it differently, as in have big stones that appear randomly in the field and you drive up to them and you remove them. But to have pebbles appear, and let's face it, these are not very big rocks that are appearing in the game, but to have pebbles appear every 20 to 30 meters at that, it's a hassle. It's not worth the time and effort. That's my opinion. And, you know, I really do like Farming Simulator 22. But this is a function or a feature that was a nice concept, like I said, but very poorly executed. You're far, far better off turning off stones and using the money and the resources towards other equipment and actually improving the yield in your fields. That's my 2 cents. Thank you for listening to me. And please leave a comment as to what you think of the concept of rocks in Farming Simulator 22. Take care, stay safe, and thanks for watching.